This episode has been brought to you by Fornos Law Firm, devoted to optimizing your legal results at fornoslaw.com.
Welcome to Push Rim Life After Injury podcast for March 28, 2013, episode 24. Special guest Angela Madsen with California Adaptive Rowing Program. I'm Ray Pizarro.
I'm Richard Bell.
We'd like to welcome our audience for being with us. These shows are for to give people a unique perspective on life after spinal-related injuries and have people tap into resources and hopefully inspire people along the way. And with that, we like to give an opportunity for our guest to share her story and also a little bit about California Adaptive Rowing Program that she's involved with. Angela, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard and Ray.
No worries. Thanks for being here.
Yes. So, can you let us know, about your injury, how you got injured?
Just out of high school, I went into the Marine Corps, and I was an athlete before. Basically, I was a single parent, had my daughter, so it kind of changed my plans about college. Turned down, scholarship to Ohio State University for volleyball. And so I decided to go into the military. I went into the Marine Corps, and I didn't get to choose my MS, so I was a military police person. But I got back into sports in the military, playing at the elite level. I got selected to play as center for the Women's All-Marine Corps basketball team. So
nice.
I was on top of the world. I was traveling around for the Corps, staying combat ready, playing ball. And I got tripped in a game, and somebody landed on my back, and it ruptured 2 discs in my back. And that kind of ended my military career and sent me on a new path in life, I guess.
Yes.
And, 93, I had surgery for that disability. Mm-hmm. My discs were collapsing, and I was supposed to have 2 levels of my spine fused, and ended up having 3 because they made a mistake and took out the wrong disc first, put the bone grafts in wrong, and then drilled a hole in my spinal cord during the surgery.
Goodness.
So, so...
What level did it affect you?
The L1 through S1 is fused. I have the Harrington rods and the pedicle screws and all that.
And as far as mobility goes, what level of mobility did that impair?
It's pretty much a L2 incomplete paraplegia with neurogenic bowel and bladder.
Wow.
Yeah, so after your injury, how long did it take for you to get back into the swing of life?
It took me quite a while, but probably because I was an athlete before, so I just saw myself losing everything, all my abilities, like so many of us do when we become disabled. And then it was compounded by the difficulty with the Department of Veterans Affairs and getting my disability benefits. So all these things happened to me in the hospital, and they denied responsibility, expunged evidence of wrongdoing from my medical record. So I ended up losing my job, losing my house, ended up homeless. So it's kind of hard to fight, to move on with your life when everything kind of falls apart like that. So
absolutely,
yes.
So what gave you the strength to fight back? And
it was probably anger, and then there's another catalyst, I guess, or cataclysmic event. I was in San Francisco for a Disabled American Veterans event, and I was by the BART station, and I was wheeling along trying to find the elevator, looking up for the signs, and it's dark down there, and my front wheel got caught in a crack, and I got thrown head first onto the train tracks, and when I came to, I was laying on the train platform, and a couple passersby had pulled me up out of the thing before the train came, and got my wheelchair up. And so when I came to, laying on the platform, I could hear the train go by, but I couldn't move anything. My breathing was labored. I thought I broke my neck. Wow. So it kind of cured my adjustment disorder. I was having trouble dealing with all the losses, and then I just realized, hey, I could lose a lot more. And I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was just being angry about everything that was happening to me. And I kind of, after 2 years, some of the veterans at the VA hospital said, maybe you should go to the Veterans Wheelchair Games and check out sports again. And that's what I did. And I haven't stopped since. I got back into sports, in wheelchair sports and adaptive sports.
You want to share the accomplishments you that
well,
that
yeah,
came out of?
I know. I was about to say, I see this nice medal here.
You got a nice little...
Oh, yeah,
quite awesome.
Yeah, that's a Paralympic bronze medal from London, the 2012 Games. I went to the Veterans Wheelchair Games again like 2 years ago, and one of the coaches saw me throwing and said, "Oh, that would be a good sport for you. You should try that." And so I did. And within a year, I had made the Paralympic team throwing, and I had broken the world record I hold the women's class 56 world record for shot put. So I have the Paralympic record for throwing farther than all 16 women at the Paralympics, but it's a bronze medal because it goes by a point system. Yeah. So I was competing against class 54s and 55s. And
congratulations.
Thanks.
That's great.
Yeah. That is an accomplishment.
The other class 56 German lady and I have been ping-ponging our world record up. So we made it harder for ourselves to medal at the Paralympics. But we didn't know that at the time. We just were competing and driving each other. And it's like, okay, you got the world record this week, but next week it's mine again, So we did that all season long, and then Paralympics. But I'm still proud of my bronze medal.
No, you should be. So, I'd be rolling around everywhere with that, just having that around your neck. But that's quite a feat there. And so, Angela, what following that accomplishment, what other things did you get into as far as water sports or whatnot?
Well, the Veterans Wheelchair Games, we had an opportunity to try a lot of stuff: swimming, billiards, air rifles, archery, track and field.
Wow!
So you get an opportunity to compete at different things at the Veterans Wheelchair Games. So I saw wheelchair basketball going on there, and I realized we had a local team in LA called the LA Sunrise, and I joined that women's team first. So wheelchair basketball was my first organized, and back to team sports. I got injured playing basketball, so that was a little tricky to get over mentally. But once I got in a chair and started realizing that I could do pick and rolls and start doing it. So, and then the wheelchair basketball, the sponsor invited me to learn to row day.
Oh,
and so that got me into a boat, and I was a natural at that. So then I started rowing, became a U.S. rowing level 3 coach, which is the highest you can go. So I could teach at colleges or college programs or even Olympics or Paralympics and coach.
Good for you.
Started the rowing program, invited other people with disabilities to come out and row. And that's been a program that started, and we got our 501c3 in 2000. So we've been operating down there at the Pete Archer Rowing Center in Long Beach. And,
Row of Life, right?
Well, Row of Life is my ocean rowing website, but CARPLB.net, California Adaptive Rowing Program, Long Beach .net is the site for the rowing program for other folks with disabilities. That took me to the Paralympics in 2008 as a rower, and my partner Scott Brown and I missed the medal round by like 7/100ths of a second. That was like beep, beep, and our boat was the second beep after
my goodness.
we trained so hard to be there. But
shoot.
Before the Paralympics in 2008 and 2007, though, I rowed across the Atlantic Ocean, and I did that with an amputee from France who didn't speak any English and I didn't speak any French, and that took 67 days to do, and that put me in the Guinness Book of World Records. For being the first disabled woman to row an ocean.
So look her up, guys. Get online and check out her story there, because that's quite amazing.
Yeah. How did that work out with the language barrier there?
Well, the middle finger is the middle finger, and the strangling somebody. But Franco's actually good. We actually got along better than all the other crews, because it's kind of like you don't have to talk. Yeah, we don't talk, so you don't offend each other. Only you smell pretty bad, but that's offensive. But when somebody's upset, and when he's a good man, and he and I are a lot the same. He endured a lot, 31 surgeries in 7 years to try to save his leg, and finally having it amputated. So he and I both share a common bond of knowledge of what it is to suffer, and to put ourselves on, at life, just getting up every day doing our thing. Why not put ourselves on the seat every day and do the rowing thing? So we kind of rowed for human rights, and the premise that all life has value. A
lot of great causes there for people.
And you did another long distance row too, right?
Yeah, that led to my being after the Paralympics. I was asked to skipper a crew of 8 across the Indian Ocean, which got me a couple other Guinness World Records. I was the first woman not disabled woman, first woman to row across the Indian Ocean.
Wow.
So Helen Taylor was on the boat with me, so she also became one of the first women to do that. So that's another Guinness World Record. The first boat to actually row across the Indian, first crew of 8, first women. So that was like a few more records. And then one of my friends asked me if I would row a circumnavigation of Great Britain with a women's crew, the Seagulls. And that was in 2010, and it was supposed to be like 2,010 miles around Great Britain nonstop in a rowboat without touching land.
Wow. And then, so it just seems like it would be complicated to handle like hydration and diet. How do you deal with that?
It is. I mean, even like the MREs that our soldiers have, it says on there that it's not recommended that you do it for over a 3-month period. So far, I mean, 67 days has been my longest time at sea. This next one, because I'm going by myself this time, it could take me 80 to 100 days. So,
got to get creative with what you pack on board.
I have to get creative with what I pack on board. It won't be the same thing, but there's so many different freeze-dried and dehydrated products, and you have a desalinator on board to take the salt out of the ocean water, and you use that for hydration. There's solar power on the boat,
nice.
Charges gel cell batteries, and then you have a powered desalinator on board. And then I carry a manual one just in case that fails. There's no way somebody's going to rescue me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before we get into that journey that's coming up and project, could you talk a little bit about the California Adaptive Rowing Program and what that entails?
Sure. Adaptive rowing is very similar to collegiate rowing. I mean, the boats are rowed backwards. You can have a sliding seat or a fixed seat if you can't use your legs. Mm-hmm. Basically, we have like autistic kids, cognitive disorders, traumatic brain injuries, senior citizens, any kind of mobility impairment. Some pretty high quads are able to row. So it encompasses a broad range of abilities and ages that we all can interact in a program together and be either be competitive or be recreational. It doesn't matter how you participate. The benefits of rowing are really super for everybody. I
like the way you said abilities, because that's what it is, really. It's people getting back and being able again.
All right. The level changes, too. I mean, what one person can do when they get started is one thing, but what they can do after they've been participating for a while is pretty astonishing. Everyone makes improvements when they participate. And
what kind of reaction do you get for those first people that are freshly injured or with a new disability that's actually their first time getting back into water after they go through something like that? What is their reaction?
I think the reaction of most people who haven't, who've been thinking that they couldn't or thinking it was harder, that they're astonished that it's not as hard as they thought it was going to be. And then all those myths about having to have grip strength to hang onto oars so tightly, they're kind of dispelled when they get in a boat and see how effortlessly that they can actually make the boat move.
Wow.
So I shouldn't be afraid to try?
No. You should be more afraid of me. No. You should never be afraid to try.
Oh, okay.
But fear is always, that's always a big part of everything. I mean, fear drives us to try, actually. Fear and doubt. It's like if you're not sure you can do something, you'll either do one or two things. You won't try at all, or you'll just want to go at it even harder to see if you can.
Exactly.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
So
now, what is this next adventure?
The next one is a solo row. Like I say, I wanted to do a solo row even before. Like, I first met Joe Le Guin, who's a multilingual Frenchman, and he introduced me to Frank. He put an ad in the Amputee Coalition of America looking for a male amputee to row across the North Atlantic, and I responded to that ad. And he had Frank on the crew first, and so that's how I got introduced to Frank. And that project failed because we didn't get like a couple sponsors and some political reasons and all that story is like on my website, rowoflife.com. But So that project failed, and Frank kind of died this emotional death because he had made this goal for himself, and then we failed. And so he was quite depressed, and I had contacted Joe Le Guin about doing my solo then and getting a boat and doing a solo. And he says, well, why don't you get this boat and take Frank with you? So I said, okay, sounds good to me because, I knew Frank wouldn't quit on me, and I knew we'd be great rowing partners.
Wow.
Whenever we were training with Joe Le Guin and the other guys, Frank would always put us together when we were in danger or the currents were bad because Frank and I were so strong as a team. So that's how I ended up rowing across the Atlantic with Frank the first time. But it was from a desire to go solo, and then all the other interesting projects came up, and I've kind of set my solo aside, and so now it's time to do it.
All right.
And that's what's coming up, right? What is the big upcoming feat you're going to try to conquer?
Solo without a support boat, Santa Cruz, California to Waikiki, Hawaii.
Goodness.
Alrighty then.
That's on June 8th, and the Facebook page is Military and Veteran Tribute Row, and my website, www.rowoflife.com.
And they're going to be able to follow you there while you're actually on the move and then doing...
Right. I'll have a satellite tracking beacon, so there'll be a map with a dot across the ocean saying how many more miles I've got to go, how many I was able to achieve. We call it dot watching.
Dot watching.
People kind of check in every day and see what's going on. But there'll be some podcasting, blogs, and all that stuff I'll do from the boat.
Some tweeting and stuff.
Right. The Paralympic sport clubs, the Northwest Regional, and 4 Paralympic sport clubs are organizing a send-off from Santa Cruz. So that's going to be huge. Kayaks,
Nice.
stand-up paddleboards, yachts, sailboats. Everybody paddling out with me that first couple hours, and then they turn around and head back, and I keep going.
Wow.
And then,
so we'll make sure we post up an event on Pushrim and put all the proper links, so make sure people could tap into your journey. Now, one question I was curious about any particular modifications that you had to make to your boat.
I'm currently still working on that. I mean, I'm using some wheelchair tie downs from NorCal Mobility.
Okay.
To kind of secure myself while I sleep, because the boats are designed to be self-righting, but in rough seas, it's like they've been known to roll over. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, so you're like a little rag doll just going end over end, and because I can only lay on my side anyway, I'm already unstable in a boat in waves. So, so I'm using wheelchair tie downs along 2 of the cabinets there and wedging myself in between there, and then putting a seatbelt over that. So I should be able to stay in place when the boat rolls over and effectively help self-right the boat instead of becoming counterballast.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, that's one of the changes that I'm making to it. I have to put some more handles on.
And you did mention solar panels?
Yeah, it has solar panels, solar powered across the back of the boat.
And how does the navigation work?
GPS, Global Positioning Satellite System.
There's a line that you watch and you try to stay on that line, or
on course?
The first row, I mean, I really, really tried to stay on the line, and then I kind of learned you're going to get blown off course no matter what you do, and you got a lot of miles to make up. And one month, one time the wind will blow you north, and then you'll turn around and try to fight to stay on that line, and then the wind will turn around and blow you back south again. So, I mean, you got to loosen up about it and kind of be more adaptable, I guess, in navigation.
Wow.
So,
good luck with that, man. I'm gonna be watching, definitely tuning in every day to see where Angela's at on a particular time.
So you have to come to Hawaii and see me. There's nothing like the finish of an ocean crossing.
Yeah, we should meet you there.
So
right.
That's a beautiful day. Yes, agreed. Paradise, right? What a finish line, right?
I was going to row into Pearl Harbor, so I had made a request, and then I had a meeting with the folks down there, and we had decided, because there's going to be so much media attention and the security at the harbor, that there's no way I can row into Pearl Harbor.
Right.
But they haven't promised anything, but after the media is gone, maybe they'll let me row in there and render honors.
And I'm sure you have quite an entourage to receive you there with pom-poms and balloons and a nice big ribbon finish line there for you.
Right. There's a Paralympic Sport Club, Access Surf, in Hawaii, who's working on the reception there. The reception. But it's open-ended, so I won't know when I'm going to get there. It's going to be 80 to 100 days, maybe it'll take me to row there. If I get some really good conditions, maybe I can do it in 65. But I'm counting on like around 80 to 100 days probably.
Wow. Well, kudos to you, Angela. I mean, that's quite a overtaking and a big. It's inspirational for not only people with different abilities, but the able-bodied community. You know, that's looking at you like, wow, look at this person trying to do this on her own and cross. So it breaks a lot of people's barriers down and things about themselves.
Yeah, it makes me think, what am I doing?
I don't know. You guys are living up to your potential. You're doing stuff.
Yeah,
we do a little.
Everybody does what they can.
Yeah.
So.
You're right. So Angela, we're getting ready to wrap up here, getting to our timeline. But would you like to share any places, particular websites again, where they could find you and read more about you?
Well, I do have the rowoflife.com and then the Military and Veteran Tribute Row is my Facebook page. But I mean, you can Google search Angela Madsen, and it's kind of funny that I have more stuff on Google, like 50 pages back. You'll find stuff and articles on me. It's kind of fun to Google search my name, find out I'm more famous than Michael Madsen and Virginia Madsen and even the Laker player Mark Madsen. And it's like, oh yeah, you'll have to go back at least 60 pages to find them. But the rowoflife.com and then the Military and Veteran Tribute Row, and I post all my updates on there. Start doing a countdown on it. So
good deal. Well,
tomorrow I'll be in double digits. It's 101 days now. So in 2 days I'll be in double digits, and that's when it really starts getting interesting.
Nice.
All right.
Pressure's on.
Okay, people, get out there and do some look her up and see what kind of cool achievements and projects she's doing. Rich, you want to let people know where they could find us?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. I'm sure you found us if you're watching. But if you're watching from somewhere else, we're Club Pushrim. And also our website, www.pushrim.com.
That's right. And also iTunes. Check us out. Just type in Pushrim and you could take us on the go. And also, if you guys want to get in contact with us, you could reach us at info@pushrim.com with any particular topics or, people you might want to see on the show or vice versa. And with that, Angela, thanks again for being with us and sharing your inspirational story with all our members. And
thanks for taking out some time to spend a little minute with us.
Yeah, we
appreciate
spent all that time across from each other at the Abilities Expo, and neither one of us had time to really connect. So this is great. It's great. It's been great.
So we'd like to have you back after your journey, hopefully, and let us know how that went and share your experiences with our community.
All right, I will. I'll do that. Thanks, Pushrim, and thanks, Ray.
No worries. Anytime.
Now let's go get some Mishis.
Yeah. And with that, we leave you. And thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Peace out.